attending today's webinar. My name is Linda Katz. I'm the Policy Director at the Economic Progress Institute. We'll be hearing today from a diverse group of speakers about why we need to raise the Rhode Island Works benefit and make other changes to improve economic security for families. If you have questions, whether from the press or community, please put them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll be taking those questions at the end of the panel presentations. The Raising Rhode Island Coalition was formed last year to promote an increase in the benefit paid to families receiving Rhode Island Works benefits, our state's cash assistance and work readiness program for children and their families. COVID sidelined that effort, but we came back today together this year to renew that request for a benefit increase and make other changes to the Rhode Island Works law that Senator Murray will discuss shortly. We are really grateful to Senator Murray and to Rep. Handy for submitting the Rhode Island Works bills S226 and H5672, and for their passion for the low-income residents of their communities and the state. The coalition, as you can see on this screen, currently has 40 organizational members, including faith communities, social service agencies, and policy advocacy organizations. There are 70 individuals who have signed up in support as well. Before providing some facts about the Rhode Island Works program, I'd like to mention the senators and representatives who have joined us today. Senator Cano and Senator Anderson are with us. I know that Rep. Alzate has signed up, and there are others who will be participating, and we'll mention them later in the webinar. So I want to start with a few facts about the Rhode Island Works program and what has moved us all to seek passage of these bills. So, as of February, this says there were 2,500 families receiving Rhode Island Works benefits. Unfortunately, it has dropped to 2,400 in February that rely on Rhode Island Works for basic assistance and access to the workforce. This includes 5,600 of our neighbors, including 4,200 children under the age of 18. The benefit for a family of 3 is $554 a month, or $6 per person per day. You can see from this slide, the benefit hasn't been adjusted in 30 years. Had it kept pace with inflation, the benefit would be over twice as much. Just to note, in 1996, the cash assistance benefit was about $554, covered about 87% of HUD fair market rent. And in 2020, the payment covered only 50% of rent. Gas prices, the average cost of gas in 1991 was $1.14. Today, it's more than double that amount and rising. If we look at how we compare to other states, next slide. We can see that Rhode Island is the only state in New England that has not adjusted the benefit since 1991, and the payment now is the lowest in the region. Massachusetts recently increased its benefit by 10%. That was just last year. And both New Hampshire and Maine adjust their benefit annually, and that's part of our Rhode Island Works proposal as well, is to raise the benefit and then index it to inflation. Let's talk a little bit about the block grant and how TANF, how the benefit is funded. So this shows us that every year Rhode Island receives $96 million in federal funds under the Temporary Assistance to Needy Families Block Grant, or commonly called TANF. The current amount of spending on direct cash assistance for families that's expected to be in 2022 is $18.8 million, which is about 20% of the block grant. The estimated cost of a benefit increase annualized to go from the 30% to 50% of the poverty level that we'll be talking about is $13 million. or only $10 million in 2022 because we're expecting that the benefit increase wouldn't be in effect until October So even with that benefit increase, the total spending of close to $32 million is still only a third of the federal block grant. And the purpose of TANF, the federal monies that we receive, it has four purposes, but the first purpose is to enable children to be raised safely at home. Yet the portion of the block grant that is spent on those families has been decreasing since 1996, and it's time to invest more of those funds directly in our families. DHS testified at the hearing on Senator Murray's bill a couple of weeks ago that there are sufficient funds in our block grant to cover the cost of the benefit increase. I also want to note that Rhode Island, under the rules of the TANF program, has to spend $64 million in general revenue funds each year to receive the federal monies. Yet since 2009, we have not invested any of our own tax dollars to support Rhode Island Works families. I'll be happy to take any questions about this at the end of our presentation. So now we're going to turn to our speakers, who bring a wealth of expertise to help us understand why the benefit increase and other changes in this bill are so important.